In writing this introduction, I came across this quote by Brad Henry. Families are the compass that guide us. They are the inspiration to reach great heights and our comfort when we occasionally falter. Like you, family is important to me, so you can only imagine my excitement when I learned in January my family got much bigger. But this revelation came as a surprise. You can even say a surprise as big as the state of Texas.
I decided to go on Ancestry to get my DNA tested so I could find out more about my heritage.
You can't watch TV these days without seeing commercials like this one, hearing stories of ancestry and origin, stories of families meeting other family members who up until a certain point in time were unknown. It seems these reunions are becoming more common as more and more people search for lost loved ones. These real-life stories have played out many times on local newscasts across the country.
We're flowing with emotion because I'm so happy.
So now it's my turn, as my life and many others close to me was changed forever this past January. It was then I found out about a sister we never even knew existed. Yes, that's right, I have an older sister, in addition to my brother Sean and sisters Dawn and Robin. Her name is Charlotte, and boy, do we have a story to tell. This story begins in the early to mid-1950s at Touro Infirmary in New Orleans, Louisiana. My dad was doing his residency and Charlotte's mother was a nursing student. There was also another doctor in residency at the same time. His name was Dr. Domingo Uceda. We don't have all of the answers and probably never will, but Charlotte's mom eventually married the other doctor and they moved to South Texas where Dr. Uceda became a well-known pathologist. At the same time, my dad, Dr. Robert Rogers Fowler Sr., moved on and would meet my mom years later and start our family. My dad was a gynecologist by trade but joined the Navy and became the base doctor wherever we were stationed. Unfortunately, my dad's career was cut very short. He was stricken with cancer and died in 1970 at the young age of 39. I was only 9 years old at the time. And that brings us to January of this year. My brother Sean was watching his beloved Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets playing the Duke Blue Devils at Cameron Indoor Stadium when he received an email from Ancestry.com. You see, my brother's wife had ordered a kit for him for his 50th birthday, all for fun. Little did we know our DNA on file would match a beautiful lady living in Houston, Texas. Based on that DNA on file, Ancestry.com was certain we shared the same father. We had another sister, and within 24 hours we were talking to our new sister. And the journey began, a journey that became very real for me in early April.
As hard as the last couple of years with the floods of October 2015 and of course Hurricane Matthew in 2016.
It was finally time for a much-anticipated face-to-face meeting, a meeting that would take place at the annual Tropical Weather Conference in South Padre Island, Texas. I was speaking on Hurricane Matthew and its impacts on the Lowcountry. My new sister Charlotte and my new brother-in-law Howard decided to drive down from Houston to meet me. As they told me later, 5 hours in Texas is nothing, so there was no way they were not coming down. Nervous? Not me. Okay, maybe just a little bit.
I'm not nervous in terms of being, not wanting this to happen. I'm nervous because I'm excited it is happening.
Time was ticking away until the all-important meeting, Saturday morning, April 8th, 2017. It was a meeting just a few months before we would never have even imagined. I guess you can quote the famous saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder. But I think in my case, it was anticipation that was making my heart swell.
Oh,
You're leaving us hanging, Robin. You're like,
Tomorrow night,
Yeah.
you'll get a chance to see the actual reunion, the first face-to-face meeting with my sister Charlotte, and you'll hear from Charlotte and hear her tell the story.
Certainly such a special moment for you, and it all started off as almost a goof, as a gag.
It was. I mean, it was all for fun on their side of the family and our side of the family, and then with what's going on in the world with Ancestry.com, the DNA matched, and all of a sudden we found out after so many years, decades, that we had a sister we never knew about. Before we show you part 2 of Finding Family, a special thanks to you, my viewing family for almost 30 years, for all of the support and encouragement as we shared our story. Your messages and emails have been nothing short of amazing, and for that I say thank you. Now it's time to meet my new sister Charlotte, and I know you will fall in love with her just as I did when we first met in person last month.
Oh my gosh. It's great to see you in person. We're definitely related. Yes. We're definitely related. Wow. Well, I was telling everybody our story and just how blessed that we are that we found each other. You never know if you have another day. So to do this. Guys, this is my sister, Charlotte. First time we're ever seeing each other in person. How about that? I heard you were nervous.
It's been a hug that's been waiting for me almost 57 years, and for my sister Charlotte, nearly 6 years longer. Charlotte and I share the same dad, but that important connection only came to light in January of this year. It was only with the help of some special people that this reunion is happening in the first place. So how did we get to this point? Well, it's a long story, but through DNA testing, Charlotte realized the dad who raised her, the dad she says provided an amazing childhood and continued that love and support as an adult before he passed away, was not her biological father. My dad, Dr. Robert Rogers Fowler Sr., turned out to be her father as well, and the rest is history. Finding out the facts did not come easily, but slowly but surely, the pieces to the puzzle started falling into place.
I had just put my little grandson down for a nap, and I was sitting on the sofa, and I thought, I haven't checked the Ancestry in a while. So I logged on, checked the Ancestry, and lo and behold, I had a half-sibling match. And the username was Sean_Fowler69, and I'm like, I almost fell off the sofa. I was like, oh my gosh.
But there was a problem. Charlotte knew there were matches, but no one ever reached back out to her. It was my brother's DNA on file from a previous sample that matched Charlotte's. But once he received his results, he did not log back into his Ancestry.com account, so he never knew. Charlotte, though, wasn't giving up.
So I was sitting on the sofa with nothing to do, and I thought, you know, I'm just going to watch another one of Ancestry's videos, which I did. The video was titled Handling the Unexpected. And I thought, this one sounds like it was made for me. So I watched it, and I'm not one to comment. I don't comment a lot on Facebook. I don't post a lot. I just don't generally comment on a lot of things. I decided that day to comment on that video.
Charlotte's comment struck a chord with Krista Cowan, one of the main researchers at Ancestry. This was the break that Charlotte needed. It was now only a matter of time before this family mystery would be solved.
The next morning, January the 6th at 8:20 a.m., we'll never forget, my cell phone rang, and it was Sean. And it was then that I learned I had 4 new half-siblings, this one being one of them, and the rest has been wonderful. We've been in contact pretty regularly, and they've been wonderful. They've been open, warm, receptive to everything.
And with this, the door was wide open, and both families stepped through, embracing our new relatives. It's been an amazing few months, after decades of living apart but sharing the same genes and not even knowing it.
I'm in love with my new family. I feel fantastic. It is a blessing in life. It is a bonus in life that I never saw coming.
We have a lot of catching up to do now, and so far we've enjoyed every moment we have spent together. I know we are thrilled that our family has grown and can't wait to see what adventures await. We have all decided it's all about the future, remembering but not dwelling on the past.
It's definitely one of those secrets of the South that was buried, and very well buried. I'm glad it happened after they passed, though, because it's not causing them any pain, not causing them to have to talk about it. Whatever their reasons were, we'll never know.
I think they're looking down and happy about this, that we connected.
I would think they would have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's great. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to meet you, Rob.
To meet you as well, Charlotte, and Howard, her husband, and she has 4 beautiful daughters, 4 grandsons, and it's added to our family, Brendan, and we've had a chance. They've actually come to Charleston and visited, so we've had some really quality time together.
And it's great both sides weren't we're willing to come together and meet each other, because that's not always the case.
Right, and I've gotten so many emails, folks telling me their story, and we hope that everyone has a happy ending. Sometimes they don't, but this one will, and I think, as Charlotte says, go ahead and give it a try.